All right, today's lesson is lesson 3.8, which is solving equations containing fractions. So a lot of what you're going to be doing in this lesson is similar to what you were doing in the past lessons, which is adding and subtracting fractions, and of course multiplying and dividing fractions. So the first thing that we're going to do is example 1a. So if you look in your book, example 1a is this: x minus 1/5 equals 3/5. And what they want you to do, of course, is to solve for x. So we know that the first thing we need to do is get x by itself. So we're going to add 1/5 to each side of the equation. That will cancel out and leave us with x by itself. And we know that 3/5 plus 1/5 is going to equal 4/5. So x equals 4/5. Fairly simple. We've done this before. Okay, example 1b is gonna change it up just a little bit. So we have 7/18 plus u equals -14/27. So the first thing we're going to have to do is isolate u. So we're going to subtract 7/18 from each side. What it does over here is it cancels that out and leaves us with u. U equals -14/27 minus 7/18. What do we do? Our denominators are not the same. So we need to find a number that both of these numbers go into. Turns out that number is 54. So 27 goes into 54 twice. So we have u is going to equal -14/27 multiplied by 2/2 minus 7/18 multiplied by 18 goes into 54 three times, 3/3, which leaves us with -28/54 minus 21/54, which equals, remember, negative and a negative, we add and it's a negative, so that's -49/54. And we can check the book to see if we got it right, and we did. So this takes a little bit more time. There's more steps to it because not only are we solving for our unknown, but we also have to make sure we have the common denominator. We are using our negatives correctly. Okay? There's a lot that goes on in these problems. It takes some time. Make sure you're taking the time to do them correctly. Okay, now, example 2a is one of those where we're going to be dividing by something. Okay, so the example is 2/3 x equals 4/5. So we know when we're solving for an unknown that's being multiplied by another number, that we divide it by that number. So we're going to divide each side by 2/3. This will cancel out, and we know by our rule of dividing fractions that we can just multiply the reciprocal. So instead of dividing it by 2/3, we're going to multiply it by 3/2. Remember our reciprocal. We flip it around. Okay? And 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 2 is 10. Simplify that down to 1, 2/10, which equals 1 and 1/5. So x equals 1 and 1/5. So let's try another one like that. So example 2b gives us 3y equals 6/7. And we know again that to solve for y, we have to isolate y. So we're going to divide that by 3. We're going to divide that by 3. Cancel, cancel. Y equals, well, what do we do here? How do we divide a fraction by a whole number? We turn the whole number into a fraction, right? And then we multiply this by the reciprocal of this. So 6/7 times 1/3, which gives us 6/21. Now we can simplify that to 2/7. So y equals 2/7. Okay, we have one more example before your think and discuss question, and that is a word problem. It says, pink gold is made of pure gold, silver, and copper. There is 11/20 more pure gold than copper in pink gold. If pink gold is 3/4 pure gold, what portion of pink gold is copper? So, we know that C plus 11/20 equals 3/4. So what we're going to do is isolate C. We do that by subtracting 11/20 from both sides. Cancels that out. C equals 3/4 minus 11/20. Now, we know 4 goes into 25 times. So 3/4 times 5/5 minus 11/20. We can leave that the same. 15/20 minus 11/20 equals 4/20. C equals 1/5. Okay, so pink gold is 1/5 copper. So your think and discuss question for your assignment today is this. Please make sure you are answering this in your notebook because it is worth points. So it is asking whether or not, so is 2/3 a solution for the following problem, which is 7/8 y equals 3/5. So it is asking you, is y equal to 2/3? Why or why not? If it is not equal, please explain in your homework why it is wrong. When you're done with that, you can get started on your homework.